On today's episode, I have numbers and updates. Maybe not in that order. Hello and welcome to or back to Miss Craftsalot's Lair. I am Barbie and I am your resident multi-crafter. Today, I want to do some updates, give you some numbers, um, and that kind of thing. Go over goals from 2025 and some goals for 2026. I went back because of the fact that I have a horrible time at keeping track of what my goals were for the year prior. So throughout the year, lose those goals. They're gone. So I went back to watch my last video from last year, and I did mention in that video that my car was broke down. Unfortunately, car is still broke down. However, we're on the track to fixing it. I think my husband has come up with the fact that it is going to be the cheaper of the two fixes, which is awesome because if it was the more expensive of the two fixes, I'd be in the hunt for a new car because we're not gonna go into we're not doing that. So at this point in time, it looks like all we're waiting for now is the parts the money for the parts for the car to fix the car. So that will be nice. Hopefully, I can have a car in 2026 because not having a car really kind of bites. But let's move on. Y'all don't want to hear about my car problems. Another thing that I mentioned in that particular video was the fact that I wanted to, or that I had started playing around with mosaic crochet, and that I was planning on attempting to make a bed-sized mosaic crochet blanket. I did do that, and I will mark that as tackled. It looked very much it turned out very nicely. And it has not made it onto my bed, but it does end up working very well in the living room on those cold winter nights. So it works out really well. I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I am also I love the color pattern that came out on this blanket. And if you have not seen that blanket, I will post uh, links to the video that I did where I talk more about that blanket. So I definitely need to keep better track of my goals for 2026. I had already mentioned that, but I got some learning to do. I have tried the whole planner journal kind of thing, and it does not work for me very well at all. So I'm going to have to start putting it in my phone. Another goal, well, definitely a goal that I had and that I had mentioned. I don't think I mentioned an exact number, but I did say that I have a lofty goal when it came to subscribers. So this is being recorded on Tuesday before Christmas, so that it can be up for the last Friday of the year, which is the 26th. So at this point in time, I am up to, let me double check this because I'm going to double check. That was almost wow. Okay. So according to my analytics, I am at 429 subscribers. My goal for the end of this year had been to be at 500 subscribers. I'm shy a bit. However, I'm not super upset because that does mean that I gained, as of time of recording this, 96 subscribers, and I am so thankful for each and every one of you, whether you are new or old. Thank you. Um, but like I said, if you are, if you have subscribed between the airing of this or the recording of this actually, and the end of the year, don't think you are not you are not special. So just saying that. So yeah. I would like to be at 500 in time for my birthday. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Um, but I definitely would like to see my subscriber count go up. So if you like this, please consider subscribing. Another thing I did recently is I was planning in with the way that YouTube was kind of playing funky and is still kind of playing funky, with views and everything and watch time and all that. I had decided that I had already wanted to start Twitch in 2026. And so, because of the little playing around and stuff that YouTube was doing, I did decide to start that a little early. So, I have started my Twitch channel. I have done some streams. I just haven't done very many of them, and they're not as regular as I would like them to be. So, I am going to be working in 2026 to have that a little bit more regular so that way you guys know when to find me there. Another thing that I would also like to talk about today is that I have been mentioning and I have shown pictures here and there on Instagram and threads and other social media picture sites. And I had also talked about this and showed this in my Vlogmas. I don't think I am very sure, very certain that this is not going to be done in time for Christmas. I'm a decent knitter and I'm a fast knitter. However, I don't think that I am going to get the Grinch inspired hoodie done in time for Christmas. I still need to do the hood. I am still working on the torso body of this particular sweater. I don't have very much farther to go because this from the pink line down, I want it to be 9 inches for the hoodie pocket. So that's what the pink yarn is here to mark where I want to start the pocket. So, and of course the sleeves need to get done still. I'm not sure if I'm going to take this as my road project for Christmas Day. I don't know if it's going to be at a spot where it's going to be good for a travel project. I don't like to have something ginormous with me. So it might end up being my socks going with on Christmas Day. But I am still in the running to have the Grinch hoodie done for New Year, so I'm not taking that into 2026 with me because I really don't want that. So it might come with me just to keep it from going over into 2026. So that being said, this is the good segue into this next little bit here is just a reminder that the yarn for the Grinch has not been the Grinch inspired hoodie. The yarn for that has not been tallied into my overall yarn stash for the fact that it was already I had gotten it for this particular project because I did not count any of the yarn that is already in a project. So I figured then the Grinch hoodie that yarn we'll see how much I have left over and it'll get added to whatever I have left over will get added to my yarn total for my stash. The time to do November's stash bust totals happened to be about the same time as, well, at the same time as I was starting to do Vlogmas videos. So I decided that due to that, here at the end of December, we would do just a November and December total in one shot, so that way you guys are all caught up. So, yes. So in November, I made Chocobo. I also made 2 strips of my scrap blanket. And then I also worked on my hoodie some more, the previous hoodie, not the Grinch. So Chocobo was 27 grams of yarn. The 2 strips of the scrap blanket were 258 grams of yarn. And the hoodie came to a complete total of 620 grams. Now, that gets us to a little bit of a math problem because of the fact that 268 of those grams were counted for usage in October. So that gets us to 352 grams of that hoodie work was done in November, which gets us to a whole grand total of a monthly total for November was 647 grams for the month, and that would take the Stash Buster series up to 3,648 grams of yarn. Now for December, for Vlogmas, I used 278 grams of yarn, and then I made a third strip of the scrap blanket, which was 134 grams, and the month total for December was 412 grams. Like I said, I did not factor in anything with the Grinch because that, yeah, that doesn't, that's not even part of the part of the stash. Anyway, so that was a month total of 412 grams, which brings us to a Stash Buster series total so far of 4,060 grams of yarn in 3 months. And that's not even everything tallied up. Like I said, the Grinch, the Grinch hoodie is technically not part of this. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that had I had not been focusing so much on the Grinch hoodie, I could have probably had this Stash Buster series done in 3 months as opposed to the 6 months that I'm giving myself for it. So, with 3 months left to go on this particular Stash Buster series, and I have 840 grams to go. I have to say I'm rather proud of myself. I didn't expect that I would work through it that fast, which is evident because I gave myself such a small amount that I could work with. Yes. So possibly the end of next month I could be done with what I had expected to do in 6 months for the Stash Buster series. It might just turn into how much yarn can I use in 6 months. And so that is all of the updates and information that I had for you today. If you like this, please like, share, and subscribe. I would love to have you as part of my subscribers. And I will be back next year. I always love that joke. Gets that close. So, I will see you next year And until next time, bye!